Hi, welcome to the series of videos on Facility Location Planner. In video 1, I'm going to provide an introduction to Facility Location Planner, or FLP. Within this video, I'm going to provide an overview of FLP, talking through the purpose of the product, examining examples of how we'd apply FLP to real-world problems, giving an overview of the model, and identifying the optimal location of bases. So first of all, what is the purpose of Facility Location Planner? The purpose of FLP is to enable you to optimize the location of sites in order to satisfy an objective function. This might be looking to minimize the overall travel time taken by officers, minimize the travel distance that's been taken, or maximizing the proportion of incidents that can be reached within a performance standard. Within the product, it allows you to specify a number of areas at which demand occurs and a list of possible locations where you could position your sites. From that, FLP uses an advanced optimization algorithm to determine the best subset of possible locations. So what does this mean for emergency services? So the product itself has been designed for emergency services. It can be used on its own or with our other software tools. Examples of applying Facility Location Planner to real-world problems include determining the optimal location of new fire stations, for example, trying to replace 2 existing sites with 1 fire station in a better location, determining the optimal location and catchment areas for new response hubs as part of police force reorganisation, understanding the standby points for ambulance services, providing a blank canvas view on the long-term estate strategy, optimizing the number of custody suites located, identifying Oscar or Tiger points, and identifying which offices are most convenient for staff to work in. There's 4 key elements or concepts within location optimization. The first one is bases. A base is a unique fixed location from which people or products flow. So you might think of this as a police response base or a fire station. Areas are geographical shapes on the map. They define where the work is located. And typically we'd get into discussions here around how big areas should be. The model can handle up to 2,000 areas. Too few, and it's going to lead to too coarse a solution, but too many can be expensive on processor time. So very much looking to have a balance within the inputs here. Thirdly, we look at demand. So each area will have some sort of demand associated with it. You might have some areas that are very busy. These might be towns and cities or certain areas that just happen to have lots of demand taking place in them. Other areas will have much lower levels of demand. Examples being rural locations within a county. Performance standard. So one of the questions that always comes up is what question are we trying to answer? So what constitutes a successful response? Does it depend on the incident type? So are we looking at the time taken to get to primary fires, house fires, life risk incidents, or in policing grade 1 and grade 2 emergency incidents? But actually that might be different depending on the context of the question. So whether it's police custody, whether it's response, we might have a slightly different view on what the response standard should be. The expectation would be that response times may be different to different areas, but you might also have different expectations. So some fire services have a different target based on rural and urban locations. The model can deal with that. Demand can have a major impact on the optimization choice. So depending on what we look to apply, the performance standard and demands may have a large impact on the decision that comes out. Finally, when we look at the FLP model itself, there are 4 key inputs that we look at. So the levels of demand that are being applied, areas in terms of the areas that we have, the different locations, potential bases that we'd be willing to use, and driving speeds as well. So Facility Location Planner uses the here drive speeds calculated from Maptitude in order to give a realistic view of how long it would take to get from any particular location to an area. The summary of Facility Location Planner. We've talked about the purpose in order to optimize locations. We've given examples of the ways in which Facility Location Planner can be applied to real-world problems and provided an overview of the model. Thanks very much. Look forward to taking you through the second video shortly.